ain't got no business being at Nickerson's Garden. He starts off with like the LA politics and then he goes right into like Squabble Up, a fun dance beat. What Kendrick has always been throughout his career and the music that he has put out amongst his peers is that he is extremely competitive, crazy, spooky, hilarious. What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. What's your POV TV? Y'all, we have a lot to talk about. This video, I am going to be breaking down, giving my full review of GNX, Kendrick Lamar's new album that he put out a few weeks ago. Since he's dropped the album, there have been a bunch of updates, but this video is solely going to focus on some of the themes that I pulled out of the album, my overall review and take of it. Thank you guys so much for my new subscribers. Shout out to y'all. Y'all are the best. And if you haven't seen my reaction video to the album, go back and check it out. We had a ball, okay? A time was had. You know, we are still in the wake of this Kendrick wave, okay? We're still in the wake of the fury that is Kendrick Lamar, okay? He just recently had his TDE Christmas concert and toy drive in LA at the Nickerson Gardens. I grew up in the suburbs of LA. I ain't got no business being at Nickerson's Gardens, but he's been doing it for over 10 years and we love to see it. So shout out to TDE, shout out to Kendrick Lamar for doing that. But we're going to be talking about GNX. Let's get right into it. Let's not waste no time, okay? This is long overdue. Let's get into it. Like I said on the last video, grab your drink, grab your vice. Let's vibe out together and we're just going to talk about it. Let me know in the comments how you're feeling about GNX. If you're interested in more content like this, make sure to subscribe, like this video, so I pop up on your YouTube. Also, a quick disclaimer, I am not a music expert, okay? This is just my humble opinion. I know everybody in the comments be experts on everything in the damn world. These are just my thoughts. These are just my 2 cents. So don't crucify me if I say anything wrong. You know, you can always add your opinion in the comments, but just keep it cute in them comments, all right? Keep it cute. All right, appreciate y'all. Now let's get into it. So since this entire rap beef has started, I have gone back and looked at old interviews of Kendrick Lamar. When you come across like him talking, he comes across extremely humble, extremely thoughtful and intentional, which I think you can tell in his albums that he is very conceptual in the way that he puts together a project. We've seen that with Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, Good Kid, Mad City, with Damn, all of those things. So up until this point with GNX, he's had a large fan base, but a very specific fan base that understands his music and also appreciates it, because it takes a little bit of thought. It takes a little bit of intelligence to enjoy it to the degree that he is presenting it. But with GNX, I think what comes out most to me is that what Kendrick has always been throughout his career and the music that he has put out amongst his peers is that he is extremely competitive. Okay, that is something that he has not shied away from. We've seen that with the Control freestyle. We saw that on Like That. And I feel like with GNX, it's just a continuation of how competitive he actually is. And he has this duality where he can be equally humble, but equally egotistical and equally appreciative of his peers, but also making a point to let you know, I'm the best, I'm the greatest, I'm a legend, and y'all ain't shit compared to me, y'all ain't shit compared to TDE. You guys remember like the Lil Wayne era, no pun intended, you know, in terms of Lil Wayne and Kendrick Lamar somewhat beefing right now, but when we were all obsessed with Lil Wayne, we were listening to the lyrics. We wanted to hear exactly what he said and decipher the words, the double entendres, all of that. And he's bringing that back. Like, there's been an era where it's just been like dance tracks and mumble rap where we don't really care what they're saying. We just like how it sounds, which is fine. Like it's, you know, that is, I think there's a time and place for that kind of music. But when we really get into the core of rap, the origin of hip hop, it's lyricism. Okay. It's the lyrics that really make you excited, that really resonate with you. And Kendrick is definitely bringing that back. One of the major things that have come out of this rap battle is where these artists are from. It's no surprise that Kendrick pretty much comes from stock. He comes from an environment that cultivates somebody that would be foundationally a good rapper, and he loves his craft. You think about how much cultural pride and almost like activism, comes from the originators of hip hop. And when you put that against the kind of stock that Drake comes from, it is stark different. It is no surprise to me that his whole angle from the rap beat was, nigga, where you from? Okay. If you're from LA, if you're from California, that is something that we ask very frequently. We are so serious. We take it so serious on where you are from. Okay. We will fight amongst each other based on what neighborhood, what city you're actually from. And if you're really from LA, based on where you say. Kendrick was basically like, at the end of the day, you're from Canada, bro. Like, you're not even from here. So let's get into the main themes of the album. Number one being West Coast to the world, baby. West Coast to the world. I am ecstatic because you don't really hear West Coast regional sound on a mainstream level. And I've kind of been okay with that because, sometimes things get mainstream and they get played out. But every time I hear like West Coast music, it feels like home and it feels like it is specific for us. I would love to hear these artists celebrated a lot more and to like gain more popularity. But it's like we've kind of gate kept it to a certain extent. But Kendrick is putting it on a platter, delivering it to the world, and allowing everybody to enjoy it to the point where we're seeing a lot of people like want to know who are these featured artists. Even from the pop out, we saw a lot of people like look up some of the artists that are not as popular or as known. He's been so intentional in how he's displayed this culture. He's even included a large population that represents LA and that is equally impactful to the community. We hear that with the Spanish intro. Okay, you cannot talk about the West Coast without talking about the Mexican population and the Mexican community. So he has included literally everybody. But what I really want to talk about when it comes down to this West Coast regional sound is whacked out murals. Because you can hear it throughout the album, but it stands out to me the most in whacked out murals. What sticks out to me is like the politics in LA, okay? If you pay attention to the chorus when he says, going up your rank, he's almost like talking as if he's the big homie in the album name itself, GNX. Kendrick has talked about like when he was growing up, all he wanted was a GNX. And so I think he's embodying that, like he's become the big homie that he used to like want to be when he was younger. And in the chorus, it's almost as if he's talking to the audience, but talking to like the little homies. And let me put you on game. When he talks about like rules of engagement, like this is your initiation. I feel like this is the listener's initiation. This is why I say it's like the theme is like West Coast to the world, because now let me get you initiated on the West Coast, how we move, what we sound like, what we stand for, and all that. Also, I feel like this album is a great introduction to new fans. I feel like LA gets represented as this, this utopia, and like all we do is drink green juice and yoga and sunshine and beaches, but ain't shit sweet out here. Real LA, like, ain't shit sweet. And that's why like a lot of people come out here and they get caught slipping. Like, there have been so many rappers that have lost their lives in LA because I feel like they think shit sweet. But in terms of like what I've seen with like LA niggas or LA men is that LA men are equal parts funny, goofy, silly, and serious as fuck. Like, like we go 0 to 100 real quick. We can have a fun, hyphy, and dance track, but then we get something like whacked out murals and it's just like, whoa, like it's crazy, spooky, hilarious. He's just letting you know, like, and that's why he starts off with like the LA politics and then he goes right into like Squabble Up, a fun dance beat. Okay, we serious and we silly. The second theme that I pulled out of GNX, and I don't even know if it's like an actual theme, but it's a pattern that I recognize within the album, is that Kendrick has consistently used the call and response method throughout his entire album. So let me explain. So since Not Like Us, I've always thought how brilliant it was that he created a dance track and simple lyrics that everybody could join in on. It's one of the main reasons why Drake lost the rap beef, because people all over the world were singing, "They not like us, they not like us." Like, I'm like, wow, like in my head, I'm like, what? I wonder what made him like kind of go that simplistic where, you know, the audience could engage on this track. And then like in doing my research for this video and kind of just like evaluating the album in general, I'm reminded that like hip hop is created on the method of call and response. Okay, so think, okay, this is not a hip hop reference, but think God is good all the time. You know what I mean? Like call and response. You think about can't stop, won't stop. Okay, and hip hop hooray, ho. Anyways, like things of that nature, like something that is so simple, but it is a part of the foundation of rap and hip hop. He uses this method continuously throughout the album, almost on every single track, you guys. He does this in almost every one of his songs on GNS. He even plays off of this method with the way that the features come in. Think about like Dodger Blue, how there are literally 3 artists that are featured on that album, but it sounds like one. It is because they are effectively almost call and responding to each other. Okay, they're playing back and forth on each other's flow. Okay, and this is the reason why Luther sounds so good, is because they're not normal verses, you know, where Kendrick has his, I mean, Kendrick starts off the song, but like throughout the song, the verses are Kendrick and SZA singing and rapping with each other, going back and forth, almost, it's not almost, call and responding, but he really takes it back to the basics of the craft of rap, like the foundation of rap. And I think that's what makes this album so good and so like engaging. And it says a lot about him, you know, like when you have the discussion about who's the better rapper. And it's because Kendrick is foundationally, goes back to the beginning of my video, Kendrick is a foundationally good rapper. Period. This is his craft. He studied it. He's appreciated it. He is a forever student of rap. This is why he has so many like older samples, because he is engulfed in the music. And it shows up in this album. We hear it in Luther with the duet with SZA. We hear it with Hey Now, Say Now. Hey Now, Say Now. Like, not only is he playing off of like the features, but he's also creating like different statements that can engage the audience and be a call and response, maybe for the Super Bowl, maybe for his concert. You know what I mean? So he's really like, he's playing chess. Like, he's not playing checkers with this. Even with Reincarnated, like, he's storytelling, but he's going back and forth with himself as God and Satan. Like, that is a deeper layer of, you know, this method, of this call and response method. And I feel like he literally does this on almost every one of his songs in GNX. Please go back and listen to it. Come back and let me know what you think. Okay. I don't think it's a reach, but I think it's true. Also, if you think about like the way Kendrick raps, he changes up his flow so much. he almost should be credited as a feature on his own songs, on his own albums, because he will change up the flow just to introduce a new cadence, just to go back and forth with himself. Peekaboo is another example. He's literally going back and forth with AZ Chike. Like, that's why that feature is one of the favorites on the album, because it's him and Kendrick going back and forth. Also, the lyrics are fire. But the fact that he does it on almost every single song within the album, like, it's a method that is tried and true in hip hop. A lot of instant classics have done the call and response method. So not only is Kendrick taking this album back to his roots regionally, but even fundamentally with the craft and art form of rap. Last but not least, another theme that I picked out from this album is that this feels like a message to men. Okay, I'm gonna start with Whacked Out Murals. Whacked Out Murals sounds like I'm overhearing a conversation that Kendrick is having with other men. He's calling them out, telling them the rules of engagement. Like, if you're gonna do this, like, there's rules to abide by. And I feel like it is so telling at this point in time in society, where we have let so many things slide, where a lot of things that should not have become the norm is now the norm. Men don't even protect women how they used to anymore. And I feel like he is calling out men to do the same thing that he's doing. If people are abusing, or mistreating women and children, it is on men to stand up for them. And that's just what I feel. That's just something that I felt when I was listening to the album. Also, we hear that with TV off, like, it's not enough. It's not enough men doing what Kendrick is doing, calling out behavior that is, like, deplorable. The last verse on Whacked Out Murals is vicious, and that's where I really feel like I pulled that this theme out. He is genuinely disgusted by not just some of the men in the industry, but I think, like, some of the men in society. Like, look at the president-elect, for goodness sake. Like, we've let so much slide. Look at some of this, like, red pill podcast and what some of these men are saying on podcasts. Some of these comedians are saying under the guise of a joke. Like, it's ridiculous. Let's take back some of these rules of engagement. Some of these, like, we've gotten so far past just, like, I don't know, just a healthy standard for what a man should be and embody and stand for, that, we're losing a lot in society. And if you tie that into, like, his stance on spirituality and of God, if you look at the Bible, like, that the man is the head of the household, and if the man falls, society falls. And baby, we have fallen. Overall, I really feel like GNX has strong replay value. It is a cohesive body of work. It's a great representation of West Coast sound, for sure. And it's a great support of local artists. Crazy lyrics, amazing flow switch up, okay? Amazing storytelling. The album is captivating. It is thought-provoking. It's fun. It makes you want to dance. Like, it gives you so much within one album. If I had to rate this album, I'd probably give it at least a 9.5 out of 10 for sure. This is one of the few albums that I've been able to listen to start to finish and wanted to listen to start to finish in, like, years. Although I will say, probably the last album that I could listen to start to finish like this was Certified Lover Boy. I'm not even gonna hold you. I did like that album. But this ain't about Drake right now. We are talking about GNX. We're talking about Kendrick. We're talking about bringing back the foundations of hip hop and rap, bringing back the art form of rap. And I'm impressed. Thank you guys so much for watching this video all the way to the end. I want to hear your thoughts. What do you guys think of this breakdown? What do you think of the themes that I've pulled out of this album? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you have your own themes? I would love to hear them. Let me know in the comments below. If there's anything that you want me to react to or review to, please let me know in the comments as well. And make sure to subscribe if you're interested in more content like this, and like this video. Hit that notification bell because I do not post as consistently as I want to yet. But if you hit that notification bell, you will be notified every single time that I post a new video. And yeah. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to y'all later.